Good morning. Let's start this puppet show. Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, getting your flash briefing. In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. 9 people were killed in a crash involving 2 Army Black Hawk helicopters in western Kentucky last night. That's according to the Associated Press. The deaths happened during a routine training mission. The crash is under investigation. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen has arrived in the U.S. for a stopover en route to Central America.
Anyone die in the training
Before
accident?
departing Taipei, she said the trip is meant to show that Taiwan stands firm in defense of freedom and democracy. But as NPR's John Ruich reports, Beijing is threatening retaliation.
Tsai's first U.S. stopover is in New York, but the one that China is most concerned about is a possible meeting between Taiwan's president and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in California on the return leg of her journey next week. A spokeswoman for the Chinese government said Beijing would take measures to respond. U.S. officials say they have told Beijing the stopovers are nothing new and do not signal a change in U.S. policy. Still, there's concern that China could use them as a pretense to take action that ratchets up tensions. When McCarthy's predecessor, Nancy Pelosi, visited Taiwan last August, China staged unprecedented military exercises around Taiwan and suspended most dialogue with the U.S. John Ruich, NPR News.
As the country deals with yet another school shooting, this time in Nashville Monday, when a shooter opened fire on a private school, killing 3 children and 3 adults. Partisan bickering over gun control legislation continues, and it led to tense moments on the House floor yesterday. Mel Bowman, a Democrat and former middle school principal, came off the House floor screaming about inaction from Republicans concerning gun violence, as Republican Thomas Massey talked over him.
Every school that allows teachers to carry, there's never been a shooting. Never been a shooting. It's time. Look, we've got guns here to protect us, and he doesn't believe the kids should have somebody to protect them.
It's an issue that's discussed and debated after every shooting with few
You know what you do?
changes.
You put
Stocks opened
shelter
higher
rooms
this
in
morning
every
as the Commerce Department
classroom. Make
reported
that a part
slightly
of that
lower
building
economic
construction.
growth at
You
the
want to
end
build
of
a
last
school
year.
shelter
Scott
room.
Horsley
You want
has
to have
more.
a school
Revised figures from the
shelter
Commerce
room in every
Deparment show the U.S.
classroom.
economy grew at an annual rate of 2.6% in the final months of 2022. That's down slightly from the government's earlier
They
estimate
already
of
started doing that in
2.7%.
Oklahoma.
The downward revision reflects somewhat
Looks like a
weaker
little reading
exports and consumer spending in the fourth
Bulletproof,
quarter. More recent spending figures for the month of
hurricane-proof,
February
all
are
that
due out
stuff.
tomorrow, along with a new reading on February's inflation rate. New claims for unemployment benefits ticked up a bit last week as just under 200,000 people applied for aid. That's still low by historical standards,
I'm telling you,
that
public
despite
caning
some high-profile
would work.
layoffs, the U.S. job market
They knew they didn't
remains
get off
tight.
with a free ride.
Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
And on Wall Street, the Dow is up 112 points, the Nasdaq up 99. This is NPR.
They hope they
President
get shot,
Biden and the
'cause
First
if they
Lady
have to
Jill
get a
Biden
caning
travel to
afterwards,
Rolling
they
Fork,
wouldn't like
Mississippi
that.
tomorrow to meet those impacted by last week's massive storm that ripped through more than a half dozen towns. The White House says Biden will reaffirm the administration's commitment to support the people of Mississippi for, quote, as long as it takes. Maine's Attorney General is suing some of the nation's largest chemical companies over contamination with so-called forever chemicals. Kevin Miller with Maine Public Radio
Why is it
has
so
more.
called?
Maine Attorney
They
General
are
Aaron
forever
Frey
chemicals.
alleges the companies that manufacture PFAS
Definition,
covered
forever
up that the
chemical,
long-lasting
not forever
chemicals
chemical.
pose a health
There's
threat.
no so-called.
PFAS were used for decades in products like Teflon
Trying to mute it
cookware,
down.
Scotchgard fabric treatments,
Water
and
down the
firefighting
definition.
foam. But recent research has linked some older varieties of PFAS to cancer, kidney disease, and other health problems. Here's Frey.
We've been working hard, the legislature, the Mills administration, everyday citizens have been working hard to clean this up. We need to hold these chemical corporations accountable
clean it
right
up.
here in Maine.
Frey and Maine Governor
you can do
Janet
is
Mills
bury
want
over top of
3M,
it with new
DuPont,
salt.
and other companies to
That's it.
pay to clean up hundreds
still
of private
in there.
wells, farm fields, and other contaminated sites. For NPR News, I'm Kevin Miller in Augusta.
The Vatican says Pope Francis spent a peaceful night in the hospital after suffering from a respiratory infection yesterday. The 86-year-old complained of breathing difficulties, and the Vatican says he will be hospitalized for a few days for treatment. It's not clear, though, if Francis will be able to take part in services leading up to Easter Sunday on April 9th. I'm Janine Herbst, NPR News in Washington.
The news can feel incredibly overwhelming. For a breath of
Amazon.
much needed.
Skip. You know he'd be partaking in it even if he's bedridden.
NASA has awarded a contract to the University of Colorado Boulder for the management and operations of the Snow and Ice Distributed Active Archive Center, part of NASA's Earth Observing System Data and Information System. NASA is taking home the honor of the best place to work in the federal government among large agencies for 11 years in a row, as ranked by the Partnership for Public Service. NASA has selected Dr. John B. Olenson as the new manager of the agency's Gateway Program and International Collaboration, building humanity's first lunar space station, which will support Artemis missions to the moon. Local students will have an opportunity to hear from NASA astronauts and learn more about Artemis lunar exploration in an event hosted at 11 a.m. EDT Thursday, March 30th at the Martin Luther King Library in Washington.
All right.
High school students from traditionally underrepresented and underserved communities will have a path to pursue careers in STEM with help from NASA. The agency announced Monday it has selected 7 historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and 1 predominantly black institution, PBI, to receive more than $3 million in funding to strength in weather. Right now in Seattle, it's 44 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 43 degrees.
Off. Amazon, give us a joke.
Why was the chiropractor so busy? Back-to-back
He was
meetings.
cracked up? Oh, my bad. All right. Peace. Have a great day.